Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the podcast, The Millionaire of the Diamonds, where our mission is so simple, so simple. Help us build you, us, we together wealth through a personal development. Stephen Covey always says it. He says, are you within your circle of influence? Okay. And what is your focus right now? We always talk about the right now passionate goals, remembering that everything around here, that's a circle of concern. The increasing prices of groceries, Trump, because that seems to be the new thing right now. You can't do anything about that. What is your circle of influence, and what is that one focus? Our vision is to develop you while we develop ourselves to a level where we continually increase our income to clear our debts. If you have any, clear mortgages, put money away, have passive income coming in, and then be able to help as many people as you can around you. Um, um, what's his name? The great investor. He says, it's my responsibility, having earned all this money, to give it back to the people. Uh, Warren Buffett, that's what he says. He's in a phase where he keeps giving it back to the people. And this is what we're really all about. And today's podcast is all about the freedom of setting boundaries. Because if I want to be extremely successful, and I want to make sure that in all my roles and goals, I'm extremely successful as an individual, as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a family member. It is so important to set boundaries, but that freedom is earned. And this is what today's podcast is about. So before we go there, and it's me and Marie-Pierre. So Marie-Pierre, you're in charge of the exercise. Okay. We're going to go to Marie-Pierre because you're going to want to share this podcast. It's all about boundaries. Over to you, Marie-Pierre. Good morning, Olga. I'm going to do a reel with me and you. Sorry, I just saw her, Olga, there. Jacqueline is there. Okay, bye-bye. Okay. Martin is there.
Okay, so first thing to do is to share the podcast this morning so you can and click on the arrow just beside where you write your comment so you can share on every social media platform, and you have the text in the comment that you can copy paste it when you share so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. But you can also share by messenger or text message. So when you have someone in mind, that's the best way to do it. So click on the arrow and choose text message or messenger to make sure that they will listen to the podcast this morning. Then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires du Diamant. So first, when you go on our Facebook group called Les Millionnaires du Diamant Inspirational Group, every time that you post on the group, every time that you comment, that you leave a reaction, you gain point during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 will get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So yes, you have until Saturday to be in the official top 10. So make sure that you go and post and react and comment. And then we have a draw at the end of every month. To be in the draw, there's two ways. First, with the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So every time that you place an order, you take a picture, you're receiving your order, you take again a picture, you post on social media, and you tag Marie Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw at the end of the month. And the second way is with the books Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So every time you receive one of the book, you take a picture, you're doing one of the book, you're taking a picture, you're doing one of the quiz book, you're taking a picture, you're doing one of the workbook, you take a picture, you're using your agenda, you take a picture, and you post on social media and you tag Marie Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw at the end of the month. And if you don't already have your ticket for the next conferences, so we have a conference on April 11, we have one on July 11, and we have one on November 14. Yeah. I'm thinking about my numbers. 14 November. So we already have those three conferences that we announced for 2026. So you have the link in the comment that you can click and register. And if you missed the one that we just did, you're gonna have the a way to register to watch it in hashtag replay. So you can register even if you didn't do it before the conference. You will have access to the replay of the conference. So voila for the beginning. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Marie-Pierre,
Yeah.
um, they know we have 24 places, here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for those who want to be in Anjou at the studio during the conference, we have only 24 places for French and English. So it's gonna be first come, first serve. So make sure to send me a message when you get your ticket. So first you need your ticket for the conference, then you send me a message and I will add you to the list of people that will be with us in the studio.
Yeah, and I really need you people there. Okay, because thank you, Jacqueline, Martin, for being there. Louise was with us. Oh, okay. First of all, I'm seeing everybody here. Okay, Lise is here. Matthew is here. Jacqueline. I saw Sherry. Sherry. Did James write? Did James?
Hmm.
Where's the crew? Is the crew there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there. Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So I need you guys to be there. So plan ahead of time. Get those condos, earn those free condos so you can come in on Friday, chill, come to the conference. Jill, you bring with you Killian, right? Maybe I'll have a dog to give you. I don't know. No, joking. It's enough. Yeah. And then go back to the condo and not go straight because that's what he did on Sunday. He went straight. Okay, no, no, no. Do not go back to London straight. So I really want you people to be there with us because it changes the energy. We tried it different ways, and the best for me that really works, my energy level and everything is having you there in the audience. So that I appreciate you because we see them here all the time, right? Okay, so Marie-Pierre, let's dive in. Today, it's all about freedom of setting boundaries, okay? And we're talking about something that sounds cold, setting boundaries, but it's actually one of the most loving and powerful things we can do. And when we read the segment yesterday, I said to Marie-Pierre, I'm going to have to tweak it here a bit because the danger with reading this type of book and taking everything in it for cash without understanding the behind the scene things could bring people who already are not doing much to say, well, I'm going to have to put a boundary here and say, no, 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 no. It's an earned right. So let me dive in as I wrote it here, and then we'll elaborate a bit more. So setting boundaries, what is it about? Most people think boundaries mean I don't want to work. I don't want to help. I don't want responsibilities. But the book shows us something completely different. Boundaries are not walls. They're what we call filters. And having been myself a mother of three young children who were, 18 months only apart, big family. uh, It's just a filter. They filter what gets your time and what gets your energy and what gets your best thinking. And the book says something very strong. If you don't set boundaries, somebody else will set them for you. Often, my sister Patricia, not anymore, but when she was a bit younger, she would always say, "Oh my God, why don't people ask you 100 things?" And I always used to answer her because my time is already fixed. And you have to know, sister, that if you don't have a set schedule, somebody will schedule you in their set schedule. So it's very, very important. It's setting boundaries. What it's really about is you protecting your energy so you can get done what needs to be done. Okay, so let me tell you the story straight from the book, which I really, really love because it's visual and it's really, really, really real. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Her name is Jin Young. She worked in a technology company in Korea. She was the kind of employee every manager loves. She always said yes. She always delivered. She never complained. At the same time, she was planning for her wedding at a certain point in her career. So she imagined her life. You have to imagine her life: laptops, meetings, emails, like never, never stopping. And beside her was her wedding binder. One day, her manager asked her to prepare the entire presentation for a board meeting, the script, the slides, everything. Sounds like you, Marie-Pierre, by the way. Jin Young didn't argue. She didn't negotiate. She just worked. She worked 15 hours a day. She finished the work early so that she could finally protect something precious. Okay, so I need to remind you, okay, she worked. She didn't say, I'm dropping the ball because I'm getting married. This reminds me a little bit of Marie Pierre when she left for 2 weeks in Europe. Everything was done before she left, plus, plus, plus. There's no dropping of the ball. Okay. She finished the work early. Look at that. She finished the work early so that she could finally protect something extremely precious. Only 5 uninterrupted days to plan her wedding. Okay. For the first time in a long time, she had protected her time. Then something happened. Her manager came to her with another urgent project. And for the first time in her entire career, Jin Young said no. Okay. Now, keep in mind, she earned that right. She earned it. If you look, it's been years and years and years. She's been working for that company, 15-hour days, going on and on. She earned that right. She didn't apologize. She didn't justify. She didn't write a long explanation. She simply said, I planned for this time. I worked hard for it, and I deserve to have it guilt-free. It was earned, okay? And something shocking happened. Everyone else on the team also said no. So the manager had to do the work herself. Oh, wow. Sometimes they got to work, these blue collar or white collar people, right? At first, she was angry. It took her days to complete the task, but while doing it, she saw something she had never seen before. She saw the flaws in the way things were done. She realized the expectations were always unclear. And she realized the system was not a healthy system, it was unhealthy. And in the end, she was grateful to Jin Young because by setting one boundary, Jin Young didn't create conflict, she created clarity. She opened a space for change, revealed unhealthy team dynamics, and she earned that respect. One no changed the culture. Now, here's what I want to add to what the book teaches. Boundaries are much easier to say when your life is structured. See, something here that is there that they don't talk about. I can just imagine Jin Young's home. I can just imagine Jin Young's car. I can just imagine Jin Young's work area. Okay. Everything, it has to be organized. It has to be to perfection, right? So this structure needs to be talked about. So I said, I'm going to underline that. Okay. So if your days are always improvised, if your schedule is always at lib, if you don't know what you're doing tomorrow, and this is the reason in Tuesday's training, I asked you for the next 7 days. And today we are on day 2 to write every 15 minutes what you're doing. Okay. I need you to personally self realize what's actually going on for real, right? Then every request feels urgent when there's no structure. These are the human beings. You ask them one thing and they're overwhelmed. Every interruption will feel important because there's nothing planned. And every no feels so selfish. Okay. So it's very hard to protect time. I remember asking my sister something and she says to me no. And I look at her and it was selfish because I knew she had the time. She's just so not anymore. She was just so disorganized, right? So if you don't know what you're protecting, you don't protect time, you protect purpose, right? Unwavering schedule make boundaries easier because you already decided what matters. Okay, guys listening here, unwavering schedules, right? If I decided that this morning if this morning is for my family, I don't need to negotiate with guilt. I already chose. Boundaries are hard when your life is chaotic. Let me repeat that one. Boundaries are hard when life is chaotic. They are natural when your life is intentional. So get that agenda, the millionaire of the diamonds, start scheduling in everything, podcast time, nap time, hairdresser. I didn't schedule in. I forgot my hairdresser appointment. Okay. Everything has to be scheduled in. First, you build credibility. First, you show reliability. First, you prove when you say yes, you deliver. And then when you say no, it will be respected. Boundaries without credibility sounds like an excuse. Boundaries with credibility sounds like leadership. And this is so important for me today because I'm afraid some people hear this message from the book, I need boundaries, and all of a sudden, I need boundaries. I need boundaries. You know, a little bit like teenagers, right? They only pick up what's convenient for them. Okay. That's not an essentialism. That will be avoidance, right? So you don't earn boundaries if you are always dropping the ball. Boundaries are not a right, but they are a privilege. And let me give you an example in my personal life. When my children were growing, they were doing sports, music, art, improv classes, acting, circus. I could go on and on and on. I had the huge family coming down, coming home, uh, sleeping. Am I going to say it? Having supper in my house all every Saturday night. So I made time for all of that. But my friends, I never dropped the ball anywhere else. I had my 15-hour days, Monday to Friday. Everything was done. The business was growing. My leaders were making money. So when I needed that time, everybody respected my choices without judgment. And never anybody saw my boundary as laziness or lack of responsibility. And that is especially what I want people to walk away with this segment of the book Essentialism. Boundaries is a privilege. Do not drop the ball. Make sure everything is organized, and anything that feels overwhelming, just hire help. But while I have that help that is hired, that they are doing something, cleaning my house, doing my emails, whatever, believe me, I'm working at the same time on what matters. So we get help so we can multiply ourselves. Now, to better understand this, I'm going to leave you in the hands of Marie-Pierre Tetro. Can't hear you, Marie-Pierre. Haha. Maybe they can hear you. It's just me. Hang on. Let them go in the chat. Did we log off? I can't hear you. Let me go on my phone. Nah? No sound. Okay, Louise Gauthier answered. No sound. No sound. Okay.
Hello, hello.
Yes!
Okay, that's so weird. I just choose the same mic, just click and re-click. That's so funny. Okay, so let's start. So, yes, in the book, we understand what is essentialism and what is non essentialism. So, about those limits. So, we understand, okay, those non essentialists believe that, okay, if I say no, then I will be limited. And they try to keep everything open because it's not about your personality, but it's about how you think before you ever even answer that person that will ask you for something. So if you are a non-essentialist, that means that you don't want the doors to close, you don't want to disappoint, you don't want to miss out. That FOMO, that fear of missing out is there, and you don't want to be seen as difficult. So the non-essentialist will have the tendency to live with too many projects, too many promises, too many interruption, and too many priorities. If you have too many priorities, that means that you have none. So you don't choose your life and you just react to it. So you want to make sure that you are able to design your days so you can really protect your energy and spend it where it's really important and not spend it wherever the noise is loudest. So by trying to do everything, usually you will slowly lose the ability to do anything well. So you feel overwhelmed, you feel pulled everywhere, you feel behind and guilty. So you're always late or maybe always tired. It's not because you're weak, but it's because you are unfiltered. And versus if you are an essentialist, you will think very differently. So you don't see those limits as restriction, but you see those limits as protection. So you understand that something is very important. So everything is important because if everything is important, that means that nothing is really important. So instead of asking, how can I do all of this? You can ask what really matter here. So you don't just by default say yes, but you can really pause and you don't let that urgency decide, you let the purpose decide. So you can create those rules in advance. So, okay, this is my family time, this is work time, this is rest time, this is sacred time for you. So when something show up, you don't have to negotiate with your emotion. You can refer back to what you already choose at the beginning. So you don't say no out of coldness, but you say no out of clarity. So you want to protect what really matters, so that calm, that focus time, that respected time, and to be more present and more effective. So now let's go into the quiz to see where you are between that essentialism and non-essentialism. Of course, it's not black or white. So it's going to be probably a mix of answer, and it's okay, but it's really about knowing where you are right now in those limits, those boundaries, so you can choose to do the right thing after. So it's not about judging yourself, but it's about seeing yourself where you are right now. There's no good or bad answer. So let's start. So for each question, you can answer A, B, C, or D, and then I will give you the details. So question number one. So you are at work, and when you already have a full day and then someone arrive and add another task, what do you usually do? A, you accept it automatically. B, you feel stressed but say yes. C, you try to do perfectly anyway. Or D, you ask what should be deprioritized to add this task. Question number two. In your family, when everyone wants your time all at once, what do you usually do? A, you try to please everyone. B, you feel torn and frustrated. C, you overextend yourself everywhere. Or D, you choose intentionally who needs you the most at the moment. Question number three. You are with friends and they invite you to something that you really don't want to do. So, what do? A, you go anyway. B, you feel guilty for hesitating. C, you make excuses. Or D, you say no kindly but clearly. Question number four. You are in a social situation and conversation drag on. What do? A, you stay stuck. B, you feel trapped. C, you zone out. Or D, you exit politely. And question number five. When you look at your energy at the end of the day, how do you feel? A, you feel drained. B, you feel scattered. C, you feel frustrated. Or D, you feel invested. So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, or mostly D's? So if you have mostly A, you live in that reaction mode, that non-essentialist by default. So you tend to say yes automatically and let life decide for you. So you don't lack generosity or goodwill. You lack filters. So you probably feel pulled in many directions, frequently tired, behind even when you work hard, and guilty when you rest. So your danger is not laziness, but it's dispersion. So many yeses have diluted your best energy. So you need to move from reacting to choosing, from absorbing to designing, from pleasing to prioritizing. So your next level is not doing more, but it's doing less with intention, so you can spend your time in the right places. Now, if you have mostly B's, you feel the cost, but still obey to it. So you are aware that if something is wrong, you feel the pressure, you feel the guilt, the emotional weight, but you still comply. So you probably feel torn between what you want and what is asked. So you may have that resentful at time, afraid to disappoint, and conflicted inside. So you see the need for boundaries, but you don't yet trust yourself to hold them. So your growth focus would be to separate the responsibility from guilt, from service from self-sacrifice, and kindness from self-betrayal. So your work is emotional courage, not productivity. Now, if you have mostly seen, you are busy but not aligned. So you try to do things well, but you take on too much. So you edit and rework and overcommit, which makes finishing harder. So you probably feel rushed, mentally cluttered, stuck perfecting instead of completing, and like you're always almost there. So you don't like that effort, but you like the focus. So your growth focus here would be to learn that editing is not excellence if it prevents you to complete something. That doing less better beats doing more slower. So your shift is from that refinement to result. And now, if you have mostly these, you are thinking like an essentialist. So you already choose intentionally, protect what matters, say no with purpose, design your time so you don't feel perfect, but you feel aligned. So you probably feel calmer, more effective, and more present. So your danger is not chaos, but it's drift. So if you stop, the noise will return. So you need to keep working on that to make sure that you have that always that purpose. So your growth focus will be to protect that mindset, to teach it and model it, and do not apologize for it. So 3 points to help you to discover how to think and live like an essentialist. So number one, you want to decide what deserves your best energy. So write down the three top things that truly matter most right now: work, family, health, contribution, but choose. So anything outside of those will become negotiable. So anything inside of them will become something that you protect. So essentially, we'll start with that selection, not scheduling. Number two, you want to replace the I have to with I choose to. So every time you say I have to, ask, did I choose to do this? If you didn't, maybe renegotiate. And if you did, own it. So ownership remove that resentment. And number three, you want to protect the few instead of managing the many. So stop trying to manage everything and start protecting what matters most. So one protected hour is worth more than 10 distracted ones. So boundary will create that depth. So again, realize that when you are that non-essentialist, you want to ask how can you ask how can I fit everything in, but if you are an essentialist, you will ask what deserves to be here at all. So you can really focus on what is important and not to say yes to everything. So yes, those limits are important, but again, like Maria told this morning, it's important to realize that when you start something, it's important to say yes, because that's how you learn. And it's not the time to say, oh no, it's my limit. So you want to learn. So after that, you can say really no clearly, because you know exactly where you are going. But at the beginning, you have to say yes to learn and to know what is out there. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone.